Good evening. Buenas noches. Welcome to the Poetics of Protest, giving voice to Mexico's movement for peace. Bienvenidos al programa Poética de la Protesta, dar voz a México del movimiento de la paz. Y bienvenidos a ustedes. A ver, ¿quién está aquí por la primera vez? ¿Alguien? Muchos, pues bienvenidos. Espero que sea la primera de muchas. I am Maureen Moore, the Associate Director of the Aloud series. I'd like to extend special thanks tonight to the numerous contributors who helped make this program responsible. In particular, Loyola Marymount University, Global Exchange, Enfoque Latino and KPFK 90.7, Pomona College, and Movimiento por la Paz con Justicia y Dignidad. Tonight we've printed a poem for you to take home. Many of you already have it, I see. It's available in the lobby if you didn't pick one up, but it poignantly celebrates the written word as part of this protest. The poem is Los Muertos, the Dead, and was written by Mexican poet Maria Rivera and translated into English by two Angelinos, Roman Lujan and Jen Hoffer. The poem was read last year at this time in April in Mexico City's Zócalo, when the caravan of peacemakers from Javier Cecilia's group, Movimiento por la Paz, arrived to the city. Tonight is one of those special moments when I know that the following conversation isn't just being heard by you, the bodies filling these seats. It's a night when thousands are hearing the conversation, the thousands of souls who have passed long before their due. The thousands more who won't be kept quiet any longer because of the path Cecilia and his movement are forging. And the thousands of others whose criminal acts will be undone because, as we also strongly want to believe, justice and hope will one day prevail. In preparing for tonight's program, I thought back on the momentous year of courageous individuals moving democracy, freedom, and peace forward through valiant works of nonviolence in the face of repressive regimes. The individuals who have graced our stage, like Nobel laureate Lema Bowie from Liberia, and the young Egyptian Wael Ghonim. Both of these brave leaders reminded us that their fight is in no way different than our own. There are plentiful battles right here on our home turf, and they asked of us, who will give them voice? As we learn tonight, this tragedy is not confined to the other side of the border. For this reason, I'm honored to host tonight's guest, Javier Cecilia, poet and activist who is visiting us from Mexico in the midst of a very intense moment in his country's history. In a few months, Mexico elects a new president, someone who will assume the post with a horrifying statistic on their hands to contend with. An estimated 50 to 60,000 deaths over what will be a 6-year period, in a war that has only intensified since it started, with no foreseeable end in sight. When Javier Cecilia lost his son last year in a random act of drug-related violence, he decided to retire the pen of his poetry to lead the march against a war where too many innocent people are dying. The victims' names are ones you know and recognize. They are father, daughter, friend, mother, and brother. Ruben Martinez wrote in his op-ed piece last year, just months after Javier's movement for peace gained traction, "There must be a language of we in this war because we are all its victims and victimizers. Let us listen to Javier Cecilia. Estamos hasta la madre. We've had enough." There's much to be done in this fight against organized crime, and here to bring it a bit closer to home are tonight's guests. Javier Cecilia is a poet, journalist, and novelist from Cuernavaca, Mexico. He writes for the weekly news magazine Proceso, and most recently published a novel, The End of the Night, and hopefully he'll be presenting it soon at the Léala Spanish Book Fair here in Los Angeles. In 2009, he was awarded the Aguascalientes National Award in Poetry, one of the most prestigious honors in Mexican literature. Last year, Cecilia helped found the Movement for Peace with Justice and Dignity that has led caravans throughout the various states in Mexico, uniting the voices of victims of the violence and pressuring politicians for reform. His caravan of peacemakers visits the United States later this year before our presidential election. If you're interested in more information about the caravan, there are email lists outside that you can sign up for, and you'll receive updates about the caravan. Leading the conversation with Javier tonight is award-winning author, teacher, and performer Ruben Martinez, who is a professor of literature at Loyola Marymount University. Ruben is the author of several books, including Crossing Over, A Mexican Family on the Migrant Trail. Translating for Javier tonight is Beto Arcos, a freelance reporter for the BBC and PRI's The World and NPR. You might recognize his voice from KPFK's Global Village, a daily program he created as music director in 1997. Playing in the background tonight as you walked in was the French-Chilean rapper Ana Tijoux' song, Sacar la Voz, Speak Up. She sings, Sacar la voz que estaba muerta y hacer la orquesta. Caminar, seguro, libre, sin temor, respirar y sacar la voz. Speak up with the voice that was silenced and make it part of the orchestra. Walk, assured and free, without fear. Breathe and speak up. Please join me in welcoming Javier Cecilia, Ruben Martinez, and Beto Arcos.
Buenas noches, good evening. Thank you all for accompanying us this evening. Javier Cecilia is a poet. I have his books of poetry here with me. I've been lost deep in his profound, mystical, poetic musings. And as you may or may not know, he renounced poetry upon the death of his son, Juan Francisco, a little over a year ago. He still loves, I've talked to him about this, he still loves poetry. He considers himself a poet, but he's not writing it right now. Beto and I felt that we could receive him, though, with a poem, and a poem that I think has special resonance for this evening.
De uno de los poetas más profundos en la lengua española y que ha influido mucho el trabajo de Javier Cecilia, San Juan de la Cruz, one of the great poets in the Spanish letters, one of the deepest and one that has influenced the work of Javier Cecilia, St. John of the Cross. En una noche oscura con ansias en amores inflamada, oh dichosa aventura, salí sin ser notada, estando ya mi casa sosegada. A oscuras y segura por la secreta escala disfrazada, oh dichosa aventura, a oscuras y encelada, estando ya mi casa sosegada. En la noche dichosa, en secreto que nadie me veía, ni yo miraba cosa, sin otra luz y guía, sino la que en el corazón ardía. Aquesta me guiaba, más cierto que la luz del mediodía, a donde me esperaba, quien yo bien me sabía, en parte donde nadie parecía. Oh noche que guiaste, oh noche amable más que la alborada, oh noche que juntaste, amado con amada, amada en el amado transformada. En mi pecho florido que entero para él solo se guardaba, allí quedó dormido, y yo le regalaba, y el ventalle de cedros aire daba. El aire de la almena, cuando yo sus cabellos esparcía, con su mano serena en mi cuello hería, y todos mis sentidos suspendía. Quedéme y olvidéme, el rostro recliné sobre el amado, cesó todo y dejéme, dejando mi cuidado entre las azucenas, olvidado.
One dark night, fired with love's urgent longings, the sheer grace. I went out unseen, my house being now all stilled. In darkness and secure by the secret ladder disguised, the sheer grace. In darkness and concealment, my house being now all stilled. On that glad night, in secret, for no one saw me, nor did I look at anything, with no other light or guide than the one that burned in my heart. This guided me most surely than the light of noon, to where he was awaiting me. Him I knew so well, there in a place where no one appeared. O guiding night, O night more lovely than the dawn, O night that has united the lover with his beloved, transforming the beloved in her lover. Upon my flowering breast, which I kept holy for him alone, there he lay sleeping, and I caressing him, there in a breeze from the fanning cedars. When the breeze blew from the turret, as I parted his hair, it wounded my neck with its gentle hand, suspending all my senses. I abandoned and forgot myself, laying myself on my beloved. All things ceased. I went out from myself, leaving my cares, forgotten among the lilies. San Juan de la Cruz. Gracias, Javier, por acompañarnos. Y antes que nada, we want to receive you, Javier, before saying anything else. We want to extend to you our solidarity in your grief. Le queremos extender pues un profundo pésame por su hijo. To lose a son in the manner that you have lost him, para perder su hijo de esta manera. Nos unimos con tu dolor antes que nada. Y ahora a platicar de cómo surge pues de esa tragedia. How from this tragedy, let us talk now of how this movement has come into being. Cómo fue de que ese momento trágico se convirtió, tan personal, se convirtió en algo público tan grande. How did this, such a personal tragedy become such a public thing?
No lo sé, yo creo que la muerte de mi hijo fue una gota que derramó el vaso del dolor de la cual ya estaba llena el país.
I don't know, I think it was the last straw. For me, it was the feeling of the country. And that moment when at my son's death, it was, something had to happen.
Es como si el nombre de mi hijo le hubiera dado nombre a lo que estaba enterrado bajo estadísticas.
It's as if my son's name and face gave a face, a name to everything that was buried in statistics and numbers.
Cuando pronuncio esta frase que no tiene traducción y escribo a partir de eso, esta frase que no tiene traducción, estamos hasta la madre.
When I write this phrase and I express it in a rally and I say this phrase has no translation, it's hasta la madre, which literally means we've had enough.
Como que el nombre de mi hijo y esta frase se vuelve extraño, es una frase poética, es una imagen poética popular, se vuelve como un conjuro, ¿no?
When I express this expression, when I say this expression, it's as if it conjures up all of these feelings that the country is in fact feeling, sensing what's happening.
Y la gente se empieza a unir y las víctimas empiezan a hacerse visibles.
And people start to get together and the victims become visible to the public.
Y yo creo que ahí nace el movimiento, en este nombrar a partir de la muerte de un muchacho a todos los muertos y empezar a darles nombre y a partir de una frase poética muy popular, estamos hasta la madre.
And I think this is the birth of the movement. It really brought all of these feelings, and at the death of this young man, his face and this expression, all of this comes together and the movement is born.
Me gustaría, porque a muchas feministas les molesta mucho el estamos hasta la madre, me gustaría un poco precisar.
I'd like to clarify a little bit about that expression because there are a lot of feminists who have a problem with me saying hasta la madre, which literal translation would be, we've had it up to our mother. So I want to clarify that.
Aquí para los mexicanos y las mexicanas lo sabrán, la madre es lo más sagrado en el pueblo de México.
As many Mexicans here may know, Mexican Americans, mother is the most sacred thing you have.
Y el rostro más claro de esa venerabilidad es la Virgen de Guadalupe.
The clearest expression of this is the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Decir estamos hasta la madre quiere decir que ya nos llegaron a lo más sagrado.
To say estamos hasta la madre means that they've touched the most sacred part of our spirit, of our lives.
Más allá de eso no puede ser tolerable ya nada, ¿no?
Beyond that, nothing can be tolerated.
Ese es su sentido.
That's the meaning.
Claro. And so in that moment, there's an explosion, literally, almost overnight. Hasta la Madre becomes a slogan. It appears on signs and protests. It goes viral across the country. Estoy hablando del proceso en que, pues, de casi la noche para la mañana, la gente con las pancartas, estamos hasta la Madre por todo el país. And then the idea of the caravans comes about. What was it like for you to find your mourning reflected suddenly in being surrounded by other people mourning? ¿Cómo fue de repente sentir tu duelo compartido entre tantos? Porque en todos los pueblos a donde iban, pues te encontrabas con otros seres que habían perdido lo más sagrado de ellos.
Pues es eso, en México, el problema de México con esta guerra es que además de que los criminales están matando a nuestra gente, a nuestros hijos, a nuestros hermanos, a nuestros padres o secuestrándolos, no hay justicia, el Estado está muy corrompido.
The state is completely fractured in Mexico. In this war, the criminals, the gangs, the mafia are killing people left and right, and there is no rule of law. They're run amok. There's no stop here.
Las víctimas le tienen miedo a la policía, a las procuradurías.
The victims are afraid of the Attorney General, of the state's Attorney General, of the federal government, of the police stations, of the law.
Porque muchas policías están coludidas con el crimen, ¿no?
Because there's collusion between the organized crime and the police and the military.
Entonces cuando denuncian, pues son amenazadas o son criminalizadas. Su hijo ha de haber estado metido en eso, ¿no?
And when they go and denounce the criminal act, they, of course, are now pointed. They point the finger at him and they say, "Well, you know, your kid must be involved in this."
Y tienen miedo, tenían miedo.
So they're afraid to report these crimes.
Además, el discurso del gobierno era: se están matando entre ellos.
And the political discourse of the government is, "Oh, they're killing amongst themselves, so just
No
let them be.
importa que se mueran.
Who cares if they die?"
Y cuando pronunciamos este discurso y empezamos las caravanas, la gente empezó a salir y nosotros pues le llamamos la primera caravana la del consuelo, es decir, vamos con la soledad de los otros, esa es la palabra consuelo.
But when we come out with our own discourse, different from them, people start to come out. And in fact, the first caravan was called the Caravan of Consolation.
Y empezaron a salir, y empezaron a gritar su dolor.
People started to come out to express their pain, and their sorrow, their grief.
Los mítines estaban llenos de sus voces,
The rallies were full of their voices, of these people.
se hicieron visibles
They became visible
a los ojos y a la conciencia del poder y de la nación.
to the eyes and the consciousness of power and the nation.
Eso, y hemos recogido mucho dolor. El poema que se les repartió de María Rivera, Los Muertos,
We've gathered a lot of this sorrow, a lot of this grief. The poem that was passed around earlier when you came in by Maria Rivera
expresa muy bien esa situación de dolor que tiene el país.
expresses this sorrow, this grief that's in in the country right now.
Y ahora, al cruzar la frontera, now, crossing the border, you come to Los Angeles, and 2 days ago, hace 2 días, en la Placita Olvera, 2 days ago in Olvera Street, we had a scene in which Javier was suddenly surrounded by victims, family members of victims in Mexico, holding up pictures of their dead. Estoy comentando lo que vimos en la placita de las madres con las fotos. Aquí en Los Ángeles, now, upon crossing the border, you're bringing the caravan to this side. ¿Por qué se trae de este lado? ¿Por qué de este lado la caravana?
Sí, ahora pensamos hacer una caravana con el apoyo de las organizaciones y de las mexicanas, centroamericanas, norteamericanas.
Yes, now we're organizing caravans here on this side with the support of American organizations and Mexican and Central American organizations as well,
Para tratar de sensibilizar a la población norteamericana y al gobierno
to try to sensitize, bring awareness to the American society, to American public and the government of the U.S.
de que tienen una gran responsabilidad en ese sufrimiento.
that you have a great responsibility in the suffering that's happening in Mexico.
El consumo de la droga y las armas, la prohibición de la droga y las armas que entran ilegalmente en territorio mexicano, tienen una fuerte responsabilidad en esto.
The drug consumption in the U.S. and the illegal sale of weapons to the narcos along the border, and also the legal sale of weapons to the Mexican military.
Y aquí también hay mucho dolor por parte de esto que señalaba Rubén, de los mexicanos que viven de este lado de la frontera.
And you can also see the pain here in this country with those people that live on this side of the border, their families that are affected by what's happening in Mexico.
Porque les secuestran también a sus familiares allá y los extorsionan acá.
They kidnap their relatives in Mexico. They do extortion to them, so families here have to send money to pay ransoms.
Y seguramente mucha población también centroamericana de los migrantes sufre y padece lo mismo que los migrantes mexicanos.
And the same goes for the Central American community. They come across Mexico and they suffer these situation with the narcos there, and they have families here that are suffering this grief as well.
Y si me permite una intervención breve, I'm just asking him to indulge me for 1 second. I know there are many people from Mexico and Central America here tonight. How many, if you could, we see a show of hands, how many people here have had family affected on the other side of the border or on this side of the border by the violence that we are talking about? Please raise your hands. Hi, so Javier can see them.
20, 25 people.
At least, yes.
Lo podemos ver, lo podemos sentir en esta sala, ¿no? Y si empezamos a visibilizar esto en Estados Unidos, como lo hemos visibilizado en México, creo que podremos contribuir un poco más a dignificar a las víctimas y a tratar de parar esta guerra y hacer justicia para que las familias no sigan perdiendo seres queridos o para que ninguno de nosotros estemos en riesgo.
If we could see this across the country, not just in this room, but across the country, the pain that they're suffering, we would be able to understand the situation that's happening there and here with the pain that everyone is suffering with the situation.
Y me gustaría agregar algo importante del movimiento en sus caravanas, es que retoma una vieja y ancestral práctica tanto del mundo prehispánico como del mundo cristiano, que es la peregrinación.
And with these caravans, what we do is we sort of retake the ancient practice of a pilgrimage, which goes back hundreds and thousands of years to pre-Hispanic times, to the times when they would travel across the land from here to Central and South America.
And early Christian times.
And early Christians too.
Y esa peregrinación en el espíritu del dolor que se ha vuelto amor en nosotros es un llamado al corazón y a la conciencia de los otros.
And that pilgrimage that takes place is a calling to the consciousness of the people.
And that opens a space that is both political and metaphysical and moral. Estoy hablando de que así, al hablar en esos términos, estamos abriendo una puerta, no solo política, sino espiritual, metafísica, hablar de la hospitalidad, de la ética, ¿no? Estos son, y que en México no era posible abrir esa puerta por el temor. Precisely that fear had closed the door in the face of the pilgrim in need.
Sí, yo creo que si no volvemos a llenar la vida social y política de realidades éticas y de esta tradición profunda de la hospitalidad, que en términos cristianos puede ser la caridad, el acoger al otro, el darse al otro, pues difícilmente podremos sanear la vida social y política, solo de México, también de Estados Unidos, sumido en un individualismo atroz.
If we don't recover this sense of this ethics of hospitality, of charity, of giving one another, how are we going to heal society from the problems that we face today?
Tenemos
Yes.
que cambiarlo,
We have to change.
¿Perdón?
espiritualizar la política.
Espiritualizar la política y a eso.
Suena raro.
Sí,
To fill the life, or the political life with the spirituality that's so badly needed.
Soy como Andrés Manuel en la República Amorosa.
les-
Que estoy como Andrés Manuel y la República Amorosa, pero bueno, es
Ah.
un chiste local.
I'm sounding a little bit like the one of the PRD candidate in Mexico,
La República.
the loving republic, as he's calling it.
I'm very glad that the conversation is moving in this direction. We were just at my university, Loyola Marymount, having an intense theological, political, spiritual discussion. Estábamos en Loyola hace 2 días y tuvimos una conversación donde se mezclaban estos discursos de una manera muy profunda. Y quiero hablar un poco de su fe cristiano. I want to talk a little bit about your Christian Catholic faith. Your poetry, tu poesía, su poesía de usted. Aquí tengo 2 antologías, La presencia desierta, en Tríptico del Desierto. Both of these titles of his collections of poetry have the word desert in them. Triptych of the Desert and La presencia, the deserted presence would be the translation more or less. Para usted, ¿qué significa este desierto? What does this desert mean for you?
Pues, el desierto es un lugar extraño, es un lugar vacío. Pero,
Desert
sí,
is a strange place. It's an empty space.
pero solo en el vacío uno puede vislumbrar a Dios o sentir a Dios.
Eso es lo que nos
But
decía
only
San
in this
Juan.
emptiness we could actually be enlightened by God, see God.
Hay una imagen muy bella de San Juan de la Cruz, no en este poema, sino en unas reflexiones comentando esos poemas.
There's some images, not in this particular poem we read, where he addresses this very issue in some comments to this particular poem.
Que es un análogo del desierto, él habla de una ventana
And he speaks of the desert as a window.
y dice que una ventana permite que pase la luz,
And through this window, light comes through.
pero si está muy sucia, vemos la ventana.
But if it's really dirty, you see the window.
Si la limpiamos, solo vemos la luz.
And if you clean it, you only see the light.
Algo análogo con el desierto sucede si estamos en donde no hay más que horizonte y tierra, es posible sentir a Dios.
Something like this happens with the desert where there's just nothing but a horizon and dirt. It's possible to feel God.
De ahí el título, La presencia desierta. Dios es una presencia que aparece donde no está la presencia. Es una
Hence the title of this
Paradoja.
book. It's about a place where There's no presence, but it appears.
And it strikes me that this desert, which is both physical and metaphysical, este desierto que es tanto físico como metafísico, we're talking about this desert here in spiritual terms, this beautiful metaphor. The desert of the borderlands is la cuna de la sangre también. This desert is where the bloodshed began and where the narco war, the narco violence really started to come up. And of course the violence done to migrants, la violencia en contra de los migrantes. ¿Cómo reconciliar estos dos desiertos? How to reconcile these two deserts we're speaking of?
Es imposible, es una gran pregunta que no he dejado de hacerme en mi vida y que ahora me la hago más constantemente.
It's impossible. That's a question that I've tried to answer most of my life, and recently I've been thinking about it more often.
El tema del mal,
The subject of evil,
un tema que nadie quiere tocar hoy en día,
subject that no one likes to address, touch.
o se toca superficialmente como si fuera un problema sociológico o psicológico o antropológico.
Or it's only addressed superficially, as if it's a psychological issue.
Pero en realidad sigue siendo un problema metafísico,
But in reality, it's a metaphysical problem.
porque unos individuos pueden llevar a decapitar, a mutilar, a destrozar a una persona
Do individuals have the capability, the capacity to mutilate, to decapitate, to dismember a person,
como está sucediendo en México,
such as what's happening in Mexico?
como sucedió en la Alemania nazi o en las juntas militares?
Like when it happened in the Nazi Germany or during the military juntas in South America,
No,
Central America.
si fuera un asunto de la pobreza, como dicen algunos, tendríamos 50 millones de asesinos.
If it were an issue of poverty, we would have 50 million assassins.
Si fuera un problema psicológico, tendríamos una población de asesinos.
If it is a psychological problem, we would have a population of assassins.
Todos tenemos nuestra parte neurótica y nuestra parte psicopática, ¿no?
We all have our neurotic part and our psychopathic part
No, yo
aspect.
creo que es del orden de lo demoníaco.
It's from the order of the demoniacal,
Una
diabolical.
Una palabra que suena a premodernidad, ¿no?
It's a word that sounds like pre-modernity,
Y sin embargo es de ese orden,
but it's from this area, from this order.
porque no es humano, no es animal,
It's not animal-like or it's not human-like.
los animales no hacen eso,
Animals don't do that,
y los hombres no hacemos eso.
and humans don't do that.
¿Qué hace que un ser pueda llegar a eso?
What causes a human being to get to that?
Sino un desierto invertido,
But an inverted desert.
por eso hablo de lo demoníaco,
It's a diabolical thing.
es el otro rostro
It's the other side of the face,
de la luz, el otro rostro de Dios, ¿no?
the other face of God.
Bueno, no es el otro rostro de Dios, el rostro
Well,
invertido de
Well,
Dios,
it's
¿no?
the
Anti-Dios.
inverted face of God, not the other side.
And so the work then of the caravans is to bring the sacred, to bring back that which has been lost, the sacred, de reencontrar en el desierto lo sagrado, de regresar al desierto lo sagrado. Las caravanas cumplen esta función al fin y al cabo entonces.
Sí, eso está muy bien visto, Rubén, yo creo.
This is well said, I think.
Es
Yeah.
atravesar el desierto del infierno, que es esto,
To cross the desert of hell, which it is,
para redimirlo
to
en el
redeem
amor,
it,
In love.
en lo que hemos hecho. en medio de esa gangrena que es México, de ese desierto de sangre, como lo definiste bien, que es México.
In this big gangrene, this desert of blood that is Mexico, the way you described it.
Nosotros hemos caminado para abrazar a aquellos que están en ese infierno.
We've walked across to embrace all of those that are in that hell,
Y para que ellos nos abrazaran también a nosotros que venimos de ese infierno.
and so that they embrace us too, because we're also coming from that hell.
Bien. This is something, perdón.
Redimirlo,
Redimirlo.
rehacerlo, el desierto.
Redeem it, to
En
remake
el
it.
sentido espiritual del que hablas, ¿no? El sentido sagrado del que hablas.
That's the spiritual side that speaks of the sacred.
And I wanted to ask you a personal question that I've been meaning to ask you for the last 3 days. Una pregunta que he querido hacerte los últimos 3 días, no me ha dado la oportunidad, aquí lo hago en público. Hablando de lo sagrado, speaking of the sacred, I've been wanting to ask you about what you wear. He querido preguntarte sobre estas prendas, sobre son rosarios, son varias cosas que traes, y también brazaletes, bracelets and rosaries and beads and did you always have this? Siempre o desde tu tragedia con tu hijo, from before? Have you always had it, or since your son's death?
Sí, parezco imagen de santo de pueblo, pero
I feel like I'm a saint from a small town.
no, siempre traía una medalla.
I used to have a little medal here,
Pero bueno, el pueblo mexicano es un pueblo muy religioso.
but Mexican people are very religious people.
Entonces, pues me daban en estas caravanas,
So they
en
give me during
caminar,
these
siempre
caravans
me ponían rosarios,
rosaries,
escapularios,
scapularies.
medallas. Si me pusiera todo, me iría de boca.
Wow.
If I put everything they gave me, I'd be falling on my face.
Y pues son formas de símbolos de protección,
Symbols of protection.
es pues así somos, necesitamos mediaciones
That's how we are. We need
concretas
mediations,
para hablar de las gracias.
concrete mediations to speak about the graces.
Y esto lo cargo como esas gracias y esas oraciones. Yo sé cada vez que la toco que alguien que me dio este rosario está rezando por mí, por muchos de México, ¿no?
That's why I carry it, and when I touch it, I think of the people that are praying for me
Y está-
throughout Mexico.
y lo llevo como eso, como un signo del amor de esa gente que reza por nosotros y que pedía nuestra protección en estos caminos difíciles.
That's why I carry it, because these are the people that prayed on these roads, and they're with me here.
Gracias. I've gotten to know Javier's work a little bit, but I'm just going to hold up two of the books. This is a collection of his columns. Estas son tus columnas en Estamos hasta la madre, y aquí la poesía. These are political columns, columnas políticas y poesía mística. Como que, de nuevo, los dos desiertos. Once again, the two different deserts. The political, rhetorical engagement of the desert, and how does the same person do the radical, mystical Catholic poetry and the world of partisan politics and the messiness of democracy? How does this, ¿cómo hace el mismo escritor, cómo compone el mismo escritor estos dos discursos tan radicalmente diferentes?
No sé, voy a intentar una interpretación.
I'll try to give you an interpretation of how this happens.
¿Cómo decirlo sin sonar arrogante?
How could I say without sounding arrogant?
Siempre me ha molestado, quizá por una falsa humildad, que me digan místico, ¿no?
Ah, perdón.
No, tienes razón. Es que cuando uno se compara con esto, siente uno así como cierta vergüenza, ¿no?
I've never really liked being called mystical. or a mystic, I don't know, maybe there's this humility, especially when you compare yourself with someone like San Juan de la Cruz or Saint John of the Cross.
Pero no encuentro otra forma de decirlo que desde esa perspectiva.
But I can't find another way to say it but from that perspective.
Yo creo que un místico, bueno, esto quiere la palabra místico, que sus raíces son un poco complicadas, no son muy claras.
The person that's a mystic, and the word mystic has a very complicated kind of roots.
Supongo que son de misterio, aquel que se hunde en el misterio.
I suppose they're about mystery, that's deep in the mystery.
O es hundido en el misterio. No se hunde él, sino que es jalado por el misterio.
He's pulled into the mystery. The mystic is pulled into mystery.
Y sondea ese misterio, a veces a pesar de él.
Sort of susses out the mystery despite him or her.
Y a veces pensamos que el místico es alguien que está fuera del mundo.
We sometimes think that the mystic is outside of the world.
Y yo creo que no.
I don't believe so.
Yo creo que, como lo dice Yves Moncheil, un capellán del ejército de los maquis, de la resistencia francesa, que tiene un tratado de mística muy bello.
I believe like this mystic from the French resistance who wrote a treatise on
Yves
this.
Moncheil.
Yves Moshe.
Ajá. Él dice que en realidad el místico es alguien que escapa del mundo, o sea, es arrebatado del mundo
He says that the mystic is someone that escapes from the world, that's taken away from the world,
para sumergirse en el misterio de Dios
to submerge him or herself in the mystery of God.
y después vuelve al mundo para mirar las cosas desde Dios
And then returns later to the world to see the things of God
e iluminarlas desde esa experiencia de Dios.
and illuminate them from that experience of God, from God.
Yo creo que algo así me ha sucedido. Por eso no
Something
quería
like
ser
this has
arrogante,
happened.
pero
That's why I don't want to be arrogant.
no se lo deseo a nadie,
I don't wish that to anybody,
¿no? Porque tampoco uno tiene mucha claridad.
because we're not always very clear on what we do
En esos órdenes del misterio
in these areas of mystery.
que lo llevan a uno a sobreponer planos, no hay mucha claridad en lo que nos sucede.
That try to take you to different planes, and there's not that much clarity as to what's happening to you.
Yo por eso siempre me asombro, hablando de San Juan, que uno lee a San Juan y lee un tratado de mística como si los procesos de la experiencia de Dios fueran una línea ascendente.
That's why I'm always amazed that when one reads a treatise of the mystics, is as if think of it as a ascending line.
Sí, está la noche, uno lee a San Juan y
The
la
night of
noche,
St. John,
la noche del alma,
The night of
de
the
los
soul,
sentidos, la noche
senses.
activa del sentido, la noche pasiva del
the
sentido,
active night of the senses,
y luego la noche pasiva, activa del espíritu, y luego la
the
noche,
active night of the spirit.
¿no? Y entonces parece que es una línea recta la experiencia
It almost feels like the
mística.
experience is a straight line.
O uno lee a Santa Teresa y habla de las moradas, las habitaciones,
And then addressing all the rooms, the
el castillo
spaces
interior,
that you live in or spend time in.
pero en realidad no.
In reality, that's not it.
En realidad la experiencia es un caos
The experience is really chaotic.
y por eso tiene que sistematizarla para darle sentido.
And so you have to systematize it to
Si fuera
make
así,
sense out of it.
Si fuera así no necesitaría un tratado de mística.
If that were the case, you wouldn't need a treatise on mysticism.
Sí, es como traducir, es tratar de darle sentido a una experiencia de esta naturaleza, ¿no?
It's like to try to give sense to this kind of natural experience.
Pero veo que la experiencia es así de complicada. Yo no podría decir, pero siento que es eso, es una experiencia de orden del oscuro que me lleva hablar de las cosas del mundo desde esa experiencia interna.
That's what I think it's all about. It's to try to understand from darkness the experience in life.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable, no te quiero poner, no quiero hacerte sentir incómodo, pero tengo que decir de que I feel like what we're hearing here is a prophetic tradition of a spiritualized politics, I think is what we said earlier, una política espiritualizada, como dijiste, ¿verdad? That reminds us of other moments in history, the civil rights movement, and the great authority of Martin Luther King, of course, with that spiritual center. Estoy hablando de Martin Luther King, el movimiento de derechos civiles, y la autoridad moral que tenía precisamente pues, por el cristianismo, ¿no? Su manera de interpretarlo. Y Gandhi. César Chávez, usando César Chávez, always using the Virgin of Guadalupe on these caravans, these marches. Esta es una tradición profundísima, and that's what this caravan is. De eso se trata esta caravana.
De eso se trata, de ser una meditación que ilumine la política desde el espíritu, ¿no?
That's what the caravans are about. It's about being in a kind of illumination of the politics, to give light to the politics, to the situation that we are in.
What is the caravan going to look like? ¿Cómo va a ser la caravana de este lado de la frontera? How is the caravan on this side of the border going to look like?
Pues queremos hacerla mucho más pequeña que en Estados Unidos es muy distinto.
I think it's going to be smaller because I think it's very different in this country.
En México nos podemos mover
In Mexico, we can move a lot of people
sin calcular muchas cosas.
without any calculations of anything.
Y siempre hay algo muy bello en México, a pesar del horror, es un país de contrastes terribles.
It's a country of contrasts, and despite the horrors that we see, Mexico is full of beauty.
Podemos ser muy destructivos entre nosotros, pero podemos ser tremendamente hospitalarios.
We could be so destructive amongst us, but we could be so hospitable.
Y uno sabe que va a llegar a un lugar y lo van a acoger y le van a dar donde dormir y le van a dar de comer.
You know that you're going to arrive at a place and you're going to be welcome, they're going to feed you, they're going to give you a place to stay.
Y bueno, y uno aprende, somos un pueblo pobre y aprendemos a dormir en un suelo o en...
We're a poor people, and we learn how to sleep on the floor.
Así fueron las caravanas.
That's the way the caravans were.
Eran caravanas muy dolientes en ese sentido, pero a la vez muy festivas.